Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. So glad you could join me because today, folks, I'm out here fishing for channel cats. I was out here a couple weeks ago and all I got were bullheads, so I'm hoping for channel cats today. I've got myself a nice fresh sucker. I just caught him yesterday actually. So I got a nice sucker here and I'm going to use cut bait today for bait. So I'm just going to start by cutting into this sucker and taking a nice fresh piece off. There we go. Now, what I like to do, because it's early, it's getting towards the end of April here, and the water is still very cold, and the catfish aren't moving too much. So, I'm going to use not a huge piece of bait, but I'm going to say a small to medium-sized bait, even though these fish might be really big, and I hope they are. But I'm going to avoid using a really big bait because they're not as aggressive. Like I say, the water is still cold and these fish are starting to get hungry, but they're not really aggressive. So I'm going to use a smaller piece of bait. Now the water levels, since I were here last, are up. They're higher than they were last time, and that's really good because what's been happening is we've been getting some rain. And the rain in particular is really good this time of year because what happens is the rainwater is of course a lot warmer than the lake water, and that's still really cold, but I could tell it is warmer than I was here last time. And so the rainwater is really good, so that's what we needed. Last time I didn't get any channel cats, it was just too cold and they weren't moving at all. But I'm hoping now with a little bit of warmer weather, a little bit of warmer water, they're going to start to move a little bit and find my bait. So glad you could join me, folks. There we go, folks. That was a good bite. And like I said in the last episode, last time I was here catching bullhead, it's all about patience. And I waited them out. The other thing I did, folks, since we turned the camera off, I also changed my bait and I put some fresh bait out there. And of course I cast it in the same spot. You always want to cast in the same area this time of year because you want them to be able to hone in on that scent and find your bait. So it doesn't feel like a huge one, but it feels like it's a little bit bigger than a bullhead. Either that or another big bullhead. But boy, he did give me a nice bite though. I waited him out, he gave me a real nice bite. Oh yeah, there was a nice boil. Oh yeah, here we go, folks, here we go. Here we go. Not a huge channel, but a nice one. And look at, he's actually moving around pretty good considering this water's still very cold. Okay, there we go. There's a nice channel cat. That's a good start for the day right there, folks. And that is, for those who like to eat catfish, that would be prime eating size right there. That's a really good eater right there. Okay, so it looks like already I'm having better luck than I did last time I was here because I've got myself a channel. So it looks like they're starting to move in and starting to bite, but I can tell you right now, just holding this fish, he's good and cold because the water is good and cold. Okay, there you go. Not quite the release I had in mind, but I was going to release him anyway. So there he goes. There's a good release. So you can see the second bait I put on was smaller. I cut back a little bit on that size, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with that small bait because like I said, these fish are not really hungry. They're eating, but they're still cold. This late spring has really impacted the bite. So I've got another piece there pre-cut, just a little piece. And put that on and get right back out there again. And of course, I'm going to try to cast in the exact same spot, if I can, or at least in the same area. If I could cast in the exact same spot, that would be pretty darn good, but there we go. Oh yeah, that's the same area. I'm out there. All right, let's see if I can get into a bigger bite, but that was a good start. That was a real nice bite. He started off slow and then he started to aggressively pull, and by the time the cameraman grabbed the camera, I had to set the hook because he was tugging. There we go, folks. Talk about patience, patience, patience. Oh my goodness, did I have to wait this one out? And I changed my bait a few times in between, but it looks like it might be worth it. It feels bigger than the other one, but he gave me a nice bite, but I had to kind of be patient and wait him out and wait him out. Now the rig I'm using is the same rig as I was using last time, the T-Turn Bait Rig 7B. In fact, I'm using the same rod I was using last time, 2 weeks ago out here, catching those bullhead. Oh, and you know, one question I get asked a lot when it comes to early season channel cat folks is, where can I find those early season channels? Well, find the shallower, warmer water, and the ideal place would be warm water with warm, shallower water. I'm gonna say shallow water under 10 feet and with deep water access. And the reason why the deep water access is important, especially in the spring, is because you get a lot of those spring storms, and the catfish in the shallower water, even though it's warmer, they're going to want to head for cover. So the ideal spot, shallow water with close deep water access. I've got myself a nice channel cat here, folks. He just doesn't like me very much, but I can grab his tail, perhaps. Come on, let's get your tail. There we go. Once you got him by the tail, it usually helps. Or you lip lock him like a bass. There we go, folks. There we go. Now there's a nice, that's a healthier, look, a nice healthy fish. Not a huge one, but that's a nice channel cat. A little bigger than the last one I caught. I'm gonna snap a quick photo with this guy for our Facebook and Instagram friends. We're gonna get him right back in again. Okay. Boy, oh boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful channel cat right there, folks. All right, let's get him right back in again. Okay. See you later, Mr. Channel Cat. Well, you know what? Early season channel cat, folks, they don't fight as hard as they do in the warmer water, but it's still just as much fun. And you know what that means at the end of April here, with May around the corner and the warmer weather and warmer rains continuing, the channel cat bite is only gonna get better. So if you get an opportunity, folks, get out there and enjoy some of this fantastic channel cat fishing we've got. I'm having a great time being patient, enjoying nature, and catching fish. I love it. Thanks ever so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. And as always, folks, until next time, good luck and good fishing.